Hello everyone. Welcome to Sriram's IAS. Myself Shri Shankri, Halay Shiva Ignatius. Today we are going to see an environment topic. We are going to analyze the budget 2023-24. So the question which I put forward is how green was this budget 2023 and 24? Okay, so see, these are some of the compilation of those proposals which were there in the budget 2023-24. And from this, first I'll be discussing all those which has been proposed under to move towards green growth. Okay, so the budget is trying to move towards green growth. And from this, we'll be picking up certain schemes which has been proposed this year or previously proposed, but a lot of budget has been allotted for the budget during this budget. Okay, so that I'll be discussing later. So first, let us begin with this. See, as you all know, yes, greening the economy. Actually, green economy or greening the economy is the top priority of this budget 2023-24. So where like activities related to green farming, okay, then even like I can say that building up green jobs, green tourism, okay, these types of things have been promoted under this greening economy. The main reason is that we have to bring in sustainable development and sustainable management, thereby reducing the negative impact on the environment. Okay, so for these reasons only, we were trying to move towards green growth, right? And you would have noticed the terms like green jobs as well as green farming. So, green farming is just like that, where we are going in for farming techniques like organic farming, natural farming, where the farming is trying to, apart from the traditional farming methods, the conventional type of farming is trying to create a negative impact on the farming and farmland, and we all know that it is trying to reduce the fertility of the soil, fertility of the land. It is leading to land degradation. So all this we call this improper use of land. So we are trying to move towards green farming, so where we are trying to opt organic farming and natural farming, where the land fertility is also maintained. At the same time, we are trying to improve the fertility, as well as we are trying to reduce the negative impact which is caused by the conventional farming. And green jobs, to say, I can say that it is a way, it's a kind of job just trying to preserve and conserve the environment, such like like that. What and all we can put under green jobs, those jobs just trying to reduce the negative impact of climate change, okay, are increasing the efficiency of resources, okay, which is promoting the sustainable management techniques, okay, that by like reducing the waste, we can say reducing the greenhouse gases, okay, all these jobs we can call as green jobs only. So we are trying to move towards green jobs, right? So this way this budget is no, sorry, it's talking about greening the economy as well as the green growth only. So second, you can see also we are trying to promote the dry and the wet waste, how we can manage them through scientific ways. Okay, so that the focus has been given to the dry and wet waste management. And you can also note an important term called green credit program. So this has been proposed under this budget 2023-24 only. We are thinking to include this in the Environment Protection Act, under Environment Protection Act. So the main aim of this program is to encourage a behavioral change. Okay, so we are trying to encourage behavioral change. How? We are trying to provide incentives, okay, for the sustainable actions taken by companies, individuals, and even local bodies. Okay, companies, individual, and local bodies. So we are trying to incentivize them. Apart from this, these are some schemes like Gobardhan scheme, we can say, which was introduced before, long before, around 5 years before we have introduced it. But now we are allotting around 10,000 crore fund for this scheme. I'll be discussing elaborately in the later part of the session. So no need to explain much. So, but what is this scheme focusing? The scheme is focusing on waste to manure plants. Okay. Then see, this term we need not use here, but generally we are talking about investing around 20,000 crores to bring in megawatt green energy plants in Ladakh, in the region of Ladakh and all. So this way, This is another important thing which I can say that this green budget is talking about. And another important point is related to green tourism. We are always focusing on tourism. Everywhere tourism is happening. Every places, every cities related to the unique places like islands, wetlands. Everywhere people are trying to visit. But what kind of tourism we are promoting? Whether it is a green tourism or not. So we are focusing on green tourism now, where the public private partnership will take place on the basis of public private partnership model only, PPP model. The green tourism will take place. So this way we will be trying to reduce the negative impact on the environment, on the ecosystem, and at the same time we are promoting sustainable management. Okay, so that's how we are trying to take in green tourism. And also this one, the value based cotton clusters, something like related to a group, where we are promoting the cotton, the value-based cotton clusters are developed. This also is happening through public-private partnership only. Why we are doing it? Because we are trying to bring a collaboration between the farmers, the government, and the industries in such a way that we are also giving, market linkages to the farmers. Okay, so it is benefiting the farmers. It is improving the livelihood of the farmers. It's also trying to develop that region as a cluster. Okay, so that way this is improving the livelihood. At the same time, it is also not trying to protect that particular ecosystem. So apart from this, if you see other schemes which are proposed under this green growth is like Amrit Dharohar scheme, which is there for wetlands. We all know wetlands is a unique type of land or ecosystem. Mostly it is like a kind of transition zone also, we can say. It's like a ecotone type of land where, so this Amrit Dharohar, where this Amrit Dharohar scheme is going to protect this wetlands, going to protect the wetlands. Mainly it is made for the wetlands protection only. So this was also proposed under this budget. And you can see that these are something like Ramsar sites, the wetland sites, which has been there. So this is the largest in Asia also. So we are trying to bring a unique conservation mechanism through Amrit Dharohar schemes only. Okay. And again, this one you can notice that compressed biogas plants. Already one of my session in the YouTube I have done related to compressed biogas, a topic when I was doing the rapid revision of marathon session. So there I have explained completely related to this compressed biogas, CBG. So now we are trying to promote the CBG plants because this is having less impact on the negative impact on the environment by reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, so this has 70 to 80% of methane content only is there. We are removing certain harmful pollutants like carbon dioxide and all is removed, extracted out before it is piled up in the cylinders, and it is going to be used in the for the domestic purposes and also for the commercial purposes. So this way we can say the biogas plant is also promoting green growth only. Okay, so in that by reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. So these are some of the, I can say these are some of the focus which we are giving in budget 2023 and 2023-24. So now, let us see a broad picture or an elaborate picture related to certain schemes which has been proposed under the budget. We expected this would be asked this prelims, but not yet. So there is a lot of scope for being asked in the next pre. So let us see what are those schemes and what is important related to that schemes only we will be seeing. So this is a chart which you can use. It's like an infograph where now we are moving in India. We are moving towards the green growth only. Okay, in order to achieve the climate goals, this is very important. So that's how it is made. See, although a lot of schemes has been proposed, there are certain 5 schemes which are given importance. One is the Green Credit Program, other is PM Pranam and Gobardhan Scheme, Mishti, as well as Amrit Dharohar. Okay, so these 5 schemes are very important. In that, Green Credit Program is yet to be formed. It is proposed only, so under the budget and under the Environment Protection Act, it will be formed. Here, under the scheme, we are going to appreciate those people like companies and other stakeholders, we can say. So what they are trying to bring in green development. So we are trying to provide incentives to these people for acting in a sustainable way. Okay, for that purpose, we are having green credit program. The name itself says that. Other programs we'll be explaining one by one in a bit elaborate manner. We'll see. Okay. So in that, yes. So before going into that, we can see the Sriram's IAS is on Unacademy platform now, and we have started the foundation batch. So join with us to have quick and easiest and smart techniques to learn the concepts related to specific subjects. So we'll be traveling with the reputed teachers in the academy. And here are some of the links which is provided. So you can also click the link and get so for more information related to foundation batches as well as the optional respective optional batches. Okay, so we are back again into the topic. Now we are going to explain about a few topics which are important, which are considered important. So I have explained here for you. One is MISTI scheme. As we said, MISTI is standing for Mangrove Initiative. It's a mangrove initiative for shoreline habitats and tangible incomes. Okay, so this is the full form of MISTI. From the name itself, we can understand that it is going to conserve the mangroves and it's going to bring in more mangrove plantations in order to protect the shoreline as well also to increase the income. So name itself says that. So what are mangroves? Why we are focusing on mangroves in this budget? Not only this MISTI scheme, very recently during COP27, United Nations Climate Change Conference, So during that COP27, there was India has joined this MAC, that is MAC, Mangrove Alliance for Climate. So that's why we are very eager to know why India is focusing on mangroves now. So to say that, mangroves are a unique type of ecosystem, I can say. It's a very peculiar type of ecosystem. It's also a kind of ecotone again, like a wetland. So where the trees have a very unique and a specific kind of adaptation mechanisms. Okay, because these plants are living in salt waters, to say. Okay, apart from that, you can see the soil is completely waterlogged, and hence the oxygen content is very less. And now the plant cannot absorb the nutrients, the minerals, the oxygen much from the soil. So what happens? There comes two kind of root, especially, there are different kind of adaptation and different unique organisms which are present. But for this, I like to say, I like to bring only the root systems, which we call as nematophores. We say them as nematophores. There are two kind, like a stilt root and a prop root, which is there. Even in this diagram also, you can see this one is a kind of, a stilt root. So the prop roots are the one which are coming away from the branches, from the trees. Branches, some special roots will fall down to the earth, apart from the main root. And the stilt root, you can see from the node of the tree, this roots will appear. So what is the speciality? If you can see that they give extra support to the trees because they are on the shoreline, okay, the coastal areas. And this protects the tree from falling down when the waves hit them. Okay, so it gives support and strength. And apart from that, this roots has packets, air packets, so that instead of the tree absorbing the nutrients as well as the oxygen from the water, that extra roots will do it. The air packets which are there in the extra roots will dust this for the tree. So in this way, it is very much helpful. And again, very important function done by this root is that it is going to trap the sediments. Okay, so what happens? This is they are located near the shoreline. Okay, now the waves are approaching. The waves come and then they dash us the coastline, So when they are doing that, they just remove a pile of sand in the form of sediments. Even some of the sediments which are brought from the ocean, from the seas, also reaches the bank. It is again dragged down. So when it is trying to drag the sand along with some, pollutants also, like it can be a metal pollutants, it can be a plastic pollutant, anything. So now it is taken towards the sea. So most of all, if we see wherever these mangroves are located, we are also seeing some coral reefs. Okay, not everywhere, but most of the areas where the mangroves are located, we can also see coral reefs in the sea. These corals are very much sensitive to the pollutants and the sediments because they require very clean water. So these mangroves are acting as a trap. They are very much useful in trapping the sediments. These roots are helpful in trapping the sediments, and then in the clean water again, less sedimentation water is sent towards the sea. So this is not harming the corals. Also, one thing. Apart from this, mangroves are a very important carbon sink, we can say. So it sinks more carbon than a forest also, and it is also storing it for a longer period. Okay. So unless until it is disturbed, it is storing it for a longer period. This way, mangroves is helpful in various ways. And it's also supporting a unique type of biome, and almost 80% of the fish production is depending on this mangrove vegetation only. Okay, so this way, because it's mangroves is acting as a nursing ground or a breeding ground for fishes, so mangroves are quite useful in many ways, you can say. And that's how, like, you can see that India has recently joined this initiative, that alliance, the Mangrove Alliance for Climate, which is hosted or which is led by UAE as well as Indonesia. So now India has joined it. What is the main aim of this MAC, that is Mangrove Alliance for Climate? The main aim is to spread awareness. To spread awareness and to create, to educate, I can say, to create awareness, to educate the people about the usage of the mangrove ecosystem. What are the services the mangrove ecosystem is providing to the communities? And what are the livelihood options they can get from the mangrove ecosystem? Okay, so this way we are trying to spread the message to the people. That's the main aim of this alliance. Okay, and as you can see that I already told you, in UAE and Indonesia is hosting it. Along with that, India has now joined, and apart from India, we can also see the neighboring countries like Sri Lanka. We can take. And Australia, Japan, and Spain is also included in this alliance. So they are all trying hard to spread awareness to the people how mangroves are acting as nature-based solution to global warming and climate change. Nature-based solution to global warming and climate change. Okay. So say students, note these words. These words you can use it. These data you can use it when you're writing a mains question also. And when you're writing your pre also, if the question is asked, you can easily try to solve it. Okay. So the nature-based solution means that what and all I discussed so far, like how it is acting as a nature barrier, bio barrier for the natural calamities like storm surges, tsunamis, and all. Even UPSC has asked this in 2014 itself, like in 2004 tsunami. Why some coasts are not affected? Where the mangrove plantations were there. Okay, so this type of questions were asked by UPSC. So that way, it is a nature-based solution we are having towards a natural calamity. That mangrove is giving protection to the coastline as well as to the property and people. Okay, and apart from this, all the other thing which I have discussed, like carbon sink, biodiversity rich. Okay, all this has been included here in this box. You can see. So these are called as nature-based solutions. So MAC is mainly acting in order to create awareness among the people and to accelerate the conservations for the mangrove ecosystems. Okay, once when they know what and all usage they're getting from mangrove ecosystems only, people will commit to protect it. No, so for that purpose only, we are having this MAC. And as you know, we were starting the MISTI scheme only. So MISTI, after that, it is proposed under the budget 2023-24. The main aim of this MISTI scheme is to protect the mangroves, which is there in the coastal line. Okay, in the coastline as well as on the salt pans and all. No, so there, when the mangroves are there, especially you take Gujarat, there are a lot of salt pans you can see land where mangroves are also existing. So this mangroves has to be protected, and also new mangroves has to be planted. So that is why they are saying we have to go for scientific implementation of this project, where R&D has to be done, and then you have to see, most of all, what is the problem apart from anthropogenic causes. Why the mangrove plantation is always resulting in failure? Because the reason is mainly there is no proper scientific implementation of the project. There is no R&D done. So they are not analyzing what kind of soil is existing and what kind of mangrove plants has to be planted here. Okay, so that results in failure. That's why this MISTI scheme is trying to not rectify, but we are giving a suggestion from our side that this is a very welcoming step, but do it on the scientific implementation. Okay, so then we'll go to the next scheme. See, as I already has shown you a chart. So very important schemes which we have clubbed under this green growth. Okay, other programs or other initiatives are there in the initial. When I begin this discussion, I started with that only. So apart from that Mishti scheme, now we are going to discuss about the rest of the schemes. The first we can take Amrit Dharohar scheme, which is there for a wetland. Okay, so how Misty is for mangrove, Amrit Dharohar is for wetland. So we all know wetland is also very unique type of ecosystem. Either it can be free flowing or it can be stagnant. It can be a fresh water, it can be a marine water, or it can be a brackish water. So any land which is covered by water, okay, so that is called as a wetland. Either it has to be submerged under water or it has to be saturated by water. Okay, that's a difference you will be learning in geography. So the biggest definition is given by the Ramsar Convention, the one and only convention which is existing for wetlands. So that we are not going to see. We are not going to see what is wetland. We are going to see about the scheme. So this scheme is proposed under the budget 2023-24, mainly to conserve the wetlands. Okay, so we all know that India has now 75 Ramsar sites. This is the largest in Asia also. So we have to conserve them, no? We have to protect them. So this scheme aims to the sustainable management and sustainable development of the wetland. Okay, with the help of local communities. That is the main thing which you have to underline under the scheme: local community participation. So that's how we can say that this scheme will be implemented for the next 3 years. We are trying to implement it. Okay, through this, what we are going to do. We are trying to use the local people and going to teach them how optimal way they can use the wetland, okay, without affecting the health of the wetland, and how they can enhance the biodiversity in the wetland also, how they can improve the carbon stocks which is stored by wetlands, how they can earn their livelihood options through ecotourism methods. Okay, so in that way, what are the ways they can generate income? This way, we are going to teach the local communities and make them participate in this scheme, that is Amrit Dharohar scheme. In such a way, the local participation is going to take place. So that's why we are saying the scheme is participatory in nature, and that is a welcoming step by the experts. Okay, so one who have read the scheme, they are saying it's a very good approach by the government. So this Amrit Dharohar is also not asked in the previous exam. And then, yes, we'll move to the next scheme. Next is Gobardhan scheme, Gobardhan. And the full form for this is Galvanizing Organic Bio Agro Resources Dan scheme. That is called as Gobardhan scheme. And this was introduced in 2018 itself. But in this budget, we have allotted around 10,000 crores to bring in around 500 units, that is waste to wealth plant, we can say. We are going to establish 500 waste to wealth plant. Okay, so mainly to promote circular economy, and there we can connect another scheme also, no, life initiative, which is trying to teach us how we have to live in the environment, how we have to have environment conscious lifestyle. So that way this program is very much useful, because this program, if you trace down this program, this was introduced by Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation only in around 2018. They introduced this scheme as a part of the solid and the liquid waste management, especially under the Swachh Bharat scheme. The scheme was introduced long back, Swachh Bharat Gramin scheme, to target the village, because in village mostly if you see agriculture will take place, and the animal waste, okay, the cattle dungs and all I can say, and also the organic waste is simply going is simply wasted. It is not useful at all. It is simply polluting the environment also. At the same time, it is not generating income for the farmers. So what they said, what they started doing, Gobar. Then scheme was introduced. Through this, they tried to convert the waste to wealth. Therefore, the farmer can earn money, earn more revenues. At the same time, the village will be clean. So two-way, this program is targeting two things, okay? Cleanliness as well as income generation for the rural households, right? Because they are converting this waste to energy. Okay, so here lot of ministries, this is a platform, Govardhan is a platform. In this, lot of ministries will coordinate to implement the scheme, like the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy will come, even the petroleum and natural gas ministries, and if you see the animal husbandry and dairying department, and even that department of drinking water and sanitation, but they are the major promoter of the scheme. So they are going to provide. This Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation only will provide technical and financial assistance to the states and UTs in implementing the scheme. So this scheme, as we said, this is supporting the village, okay, in a various ways. It is going to benefit the village. One thing is, it is going to bring cleanliness in the village. Second, it is going to convert the waste to energy. So the cattle waste, agricultural waste, everything, the organic waste will be converted to energy. So in this way, this is going to support the rural community, increase their livelihood option. Okay. At the same time, it is also promoting the sanitation and controlling diseases. Okay. So once waste is lying there, vector-borne diseases will spread. So in order to stop all those things and to save effective disposal of waste in the rural areas, we have introduced this scheme. And in 2018 itself, now around 10,000 crore budget has been allotted, where we are going to turn around 500 plants we are going to bring in. And we also said we have to reduce carbon emissions. We are aiming for CBG plants. Instead of going for biogas plant, we are now moving to CBG, where the biogas, once it is produced, it will be again filtered, and that carbon dioxide and some other trace gases like nitric oxides, everything will be removed. And now the gas is a bit clean and pure. Okay. So this way we are aiming for more and more initiatives. And the last in this is PM Pranam, which I told you that this PM Pranam, the full form I can say is that Program for Restoration, Awareness, Nourishments and Amelioration for Mother Earth. Okay, so related to Mother Earth, that is, the scheme is aiming to improve the health of Mother Earth. Okay, we have already done a lot to spoil the health of the earth. So now we are trying to rectify the mistake which we have committed. So this budget 2023-24 is proposing the scheme, and over the next 3 years, the scheme will be implemented. This Pranam scheme, what it is trying to do, it is trying to rectify the mistakes committed by the conventional farming techniques. Conventional farming, as you all know, conventional farming is using a lot of chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, insecticides to improve the growth of crops. Okay, to increase the productivity of crops, they started in using that. But over the period, what happens? It tried to since the excessive use of fertilizers made the farm infertile. Okay, it reduced the fertility of the soil. It degraded the land's fertility. Over the period, it turned to a wasteland also. So in order to rectify the problem created by these synthetic fertilizers or chemical fertilizers, we are switching. Under the scheme, we are trying to switch from these chemical fertilizers to organic fertilizers or to biofertilizers, or even you can say the nano fertilizers. So when time is there, you just see the differences between these three fertilizers. Simply, I can say the biofertilizers means where the plant is acting as a biofertilizer itself. For example, certain plants like leguminous plants you take. The roots of these legumes has certain bacteria living in them. No, we already have discussed in various classes, we have discussed this. So this bacteria will fix the atmospheric nitrogen for the plant. In that way, it is helping the plant. At the same time, it is also improving the fertility of the soil. Instead of using the ureas or NPK fertilizers, you can use the biofertilizer. Okay. So this way, this is one example like that. Many plants are having this kind of bacteria living in their root system. Some flowering plants also do have. So we can plant them in between the farmland in order to improve the fertility, or in crop rotation, we can use them. Okay, same way organic farming you can take. You all know about it. So the waste, organic waste, when it is break down by decomposers like earthworm you take. So these they are like detritivores. They break down it, and when this is used as a manure for the farms. Okay, instead of using synthetic manures or chemical fertilizers, you can go for this. Same way the nano fertilizers. What's the difference? Nano fertilizers means it is also a kind of fertilizers where the chemical substance are extracted from the plant parts. Okay, so that is used as a fertilizer. And this nano fertilizers, if you see, it is more better than a chemical fertilizers. It's trying to, I can say that, like it is also not reducing. It is not trying to affect the fertility of the soil. At the same time, it is trying to, you can use less fertilizers compared to the chemical fertilizers. The application area is also huge. The surface area is huge. So this less fertilizers can be applied. and less, frequently you need not apply the fertilizers. Okay, so that's a very good benefit of nano fertilizers. So these can be promoted, and this will lead to organic farming and natural farming. In this way, you are promoting organic farming and natural farming. That means what? It leads to green farming techniques. Green farming techniques. Okay, so this way I can say the PM Pranam scheme is trying to improve the health, which we already deteriorated. We are trying to rectify the mistake. So under the scheme, under the PM Pranam, what they are going to do, okay, fine. Previously, the government offered fertilizer subsidy to the farmers. Now, what they will do, they will take that 50% of this fertilizer subsidy, which will be saved by the states or the union territory in the particular financial year. Okay, so by the way they are reducing the consumption of that fertilizers, chemical fertilizers only, they are saving this amount. Comparing to the previous 3 years, they will compare how much money they are allotted as a subsidy and how this year it has been reduced, and that 50% will be provided as grant to the states and the union territories. Okay, so this way PM Pranam is trying to promote organic farming and natural farming. So far in this discussion, we have seen the budget related to green growth. Okay, this 2023 budget is how it is promoting a green growth. We have seen a lot of initiatives under that, small initiatives under various sectors also. It is there, but notable schemes like PM Pranam, you take Mishti scheme, you take Amrit Dharohar, you take Gobardhan scheme, you take, and also the one I can say the green credit incentive schemes is there, no? So that can also be included as a major scheme which has been proposed in order to promote green growth. Okay, so this way you can also analyze the budget. So since these schemes are not asked in the UPSC exam so far, in the previous 2023 prelims, it can be expected this next forthcoming exams. Also, the Gobardhan scheme, as I already told, it was introduced in 2018. So its year-wise classification is also important. So you have to read in this manner only. Okay, fine. With this, we can end the session. We can again meet with some other new topics. Thank you all.